So can you introduce, Elder?
Yes, my name is Elder. I'm an architect, currently based in Brisbane, Australia. I'm a bit of, lately been a bit of a COVID refugee. Just moved from Angola to for good to Brisbane late last year. So I'm kind of starting again practice back in Australia.
Okay, nice to hear from you, Elder. So anyone else want to go ahead? Siamal?
Hi there, I'm Shamal. I'm an architect as well. I live in Sri Lanka, in Colombo. And here we're all grappling with the current pandemic that's, befallen all of us around the world, and trying to find new ways of making, finding new discourse in architecture. And yeah, that's me.
Okay, nice to see you again, Siamal.
Likewise.
We have also here Bunchana, no?
Hello guys, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to get a camera set up.
Maybe can you, yeah, if you can on the camera, at least we can see your face.
Yeah, I'm setting it up on the iPad, but I'm using on the PC right now. But hold on a bit. But yeah, let me introduce myself. I'm a 29 years old architect. I graduated from ABAC School of Architecture and Design in 2016. And then I started working for On and On Thailand, which is based from a Singapore architect firm. And I work on high-rise hotel and condominium. And currently I'm working for Somdun Architect. Yeah.
Okay, nice to meet you, Munsana. So I think maybe you can talk here a lot about the high-rise building in Bangkok.
Sure. I mean, I can share my opinion on the building that from the past 4.5 years that I've been working here in Bangkok. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Thank you. Who's more here? Flor Ballesteros. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, hello. Good night in Mexico. Good morning in your country. I am an architect, and I want to see the work that you see. Can you give me? My English is not good, but I hear good.
It is okay, no problem, no worries. So
Okay.
sure you will understand, because everything is very graphic and also, I mean, it's also very basic, so it will be easy to follow and understand. Thank you, okay, Flor, for attending.
Thank you.
I can see here more people. Carles from Singapore, no?
Yeah, long time no see.
Can you introduce a little bit?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. So that you are from all parts of the world. I'm from Spain, as Miguel, but basically now I'm based in Singapore. I'm not doing high rise. I'm doing another type of buildings. I'm also an architect, but I'm more doing more IT buildings, like data centers. So, but anyway, I'm very interested to hear about Miguel. It's been a long while since we were living together here in Singapore. And now let's see your new experience and how you work there, and I hope we can work together back in Thailand or somewhere else in the world. And now you see that there's a lot of people, so maybe we can work together in many parts of the world.
Yes, we can.
Yeah,
we tried that on a competition a little while back, but I'm sure we can share synergies for sure.
Sure.
Yeah, because basically this was focused like for the market of Bangkok, on Thailand, no? But finally, I mean, everybody, I mean, the interested people is from overseas, no? That's and we have also here Luis Garrido, no? Who is based in Bangkok. Can you introduce yourself, Luis?
Hello, Miguel, and hi everyone. My name's Luis, and no, I'm not an architect. I'm a journalist and I'm living in Bangkok for more than 10 years, and I'm quite interested in the things Miguel do, and I think it will be a nice talk.
Let's see later. I mean, yeah, you can let me know. Eh? You make me have pressure, Luis.
No, of course not. Of course not.
And also we have here Jose Rafael, no? Jose Rafael Noroña, no? Can you introduce yourself? Jose? Can you hear? If not, okay. If he cannot hear, okay. So in this case, I mean, I'm going to start to share this presentation because I also don't want to keep too much time, no? But basically, let me share the screen. Okay. Can you see the screen already?
Yep.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Okay. So okay, let's go to start. So because since most of you, I mean, are outside of Bangkok, I'm going to explain a little bit how this city works, no, for you guys to understand. Well, basically everybody know me already because basically all you, I mean, we have been in touch in any moment of my life. So basically I have been working in many different places, and also I am an architect, no, from the School of Madrid. Okay, and now currently I'm living in Thailand, no, as Carles was mentioned. Okay, these are the places that I have been working in this part of that's why I want to share this thing of the design. Okay. And basically the things that I'm going to talk in this webinar are my observation as a foreigner, no? As also Luis has so many observations about what happened here in Bangkok and all these challenging things that there is in this city. Okay, so that means that the things that I'm going to talk are just only observation. It's not going to be something that is really true. It's opinions, no? So it's something that we can share, we can discuss, and maybe since we are a group of people here from different ways, different perception, data, maybe we can have a brainstorming or so discussion. Okay, so basically the things that we are going to do is, well, the opening and the introduction, that is the things that we just doing. Also the webinar, no, with the content. Later we have some questions and answer, okay, and we can have a short discussion, and then we just close, no, this webinar. Okay, so basically this is the city of Bangkok for the people that are not really familiar. Okay, so Bangkok is here, this Chao Phraya River. Okay, so all this portion is Bangkok, okay, which is really huge. And this is another area that is not really Bangkok, but the part of the city, okay, is also happening along this part of the river. Okay, the city center is located here, where is the palace, no, and many main activities in the city, and these are the skyline, no, of the city. That is like the BTS, no, the way to move, no. So basically there are these lines, okay, that is go from the north to the south, and this one that is crossing the river, and this one that is the one that is linking to the airport, no. Okay, I mentioned this thing because later on, I mean, there is also, they are building this underground, no, okay, that is connecting all this portion of the river. And basically the things that I want to say with this thing is like, there are, in this city, it's very obvious that there are two cities inside one city, okay? Basically, one is the city for the Thai people, and the city number two is the one for the foreigners, no? The foreigners are really attached to this line, so it's going to be located, most of the people, okay, are going to be living around this these transportations, no lines.
Miguel,
okay, and the rest of the
Miguel,
yeah.
one question.
Yes.
When you said foreigner people, so two types of city, do you mean people, foreigners that lives in Bangkok, or all the tourists?
Yeah. No, foreigners that, yeah, people from overseas.
Okay.
People from overseas living here in Bangkok. Okay, there is no this discrimination between Western or Eastern. No, can be China, can be.
No, I was meaning more in tourism or living.
No. It's people living. People
Okay.
living. Okay, and also I mean the people of the tourists. Okay, will be also located. I mean according to the hotels in all this area. No, but basically with all the people can rent apartments, so it's going to be in this kind of the high-rise building. No, so that's why it's the reason that I'm talking about this topic. Okay, so the things that I want to say is like if you are around whatever you are moving in the city, when you are around these lines, it's going to be very easy to find foreigners people. No? And when you are around this area, let's say that half a meter away from this BTS line, it's going to be very strange to see foreigners, no? Because they are not used to this, because the city doesn't have a good transportation. No? So basically, it's like if you don't have a car, okay, it's going to be very complicated to live in any other area that is far away from the BTS, because you will need the taxi, the motor, the whatever. Okay. So this is something a kind of observation, no? that is very simple. Also in Dubai have some similar thing, and this thing of Bangkok, but it's not so historical city as Bangkok, no? So that is some of the input that is easy to see, no, when you are living here, no, especially in the first years, no? Okay, so basically, where are located these high-rise buildings, no, in the Bangkok city? This is one of the most iconic one. Okay, so all these high-rise buildings are located around these lines, no? Basically, this is the easy transportation. So along all these lines, you will see are these all huge development, no? Okay, so that will be the location. Okay, and these are samples of the high-rise building that is in this city, no? That are they have a clear pattern, no? So this one is the Mahanakon. This one is just a condominium tower. Okay, but when you can see, just pick up this kind of sample, suddenly we can see, you know, that there is something that is repeating, no? Can you see, guys, in the picture that there are this line that is very dominant in all of them? Basically, this is something that in the beginning, when you visit this city, I mean, it's something that is easy to look, no? Why all this shape, no? Later, I mean, once that you start to look for all these things, you see that the tile, when they do the regulation for this design, basically they are saying that there is this dimension of the stroke. Okay, so when you are going to build this high-rise building, okay, you need to take basically roughly, okay, is the dimension of the street. You are going to put 2 times here, and then you will generate this this diagonal, no? And you can go from the street until the 60 meters, okay, and then all this area will be the area that you can build, okay. That's why is these images, no, that we have, no. So this one is because of the section of this street, no. So they will take this 2 times here. Okay, and then will be one line here generating, and then that will be the cutting, no? That is the same thing that is appearing here, okay? And also at the same time, every single plot that you have here to build, okay, you need to step back, okay, from the boundary, and all these things will be the area that you can build, okay? So all this thing is very curious, because what is happening with this decision is like every single plot that is in Thailand is generating a kind of island. So every tower is going to be one island. There is no relation with the other one. Okay, in the most of the cases, no. Okay, so at the end, every single construction is an island. So this one is very interesting because in the case of the pandemic, in the COVID, okay, Thailand is doing pretty well, no? But I think that is in relation with this theme, because at the moment that there is this case of pandemic, but they just close, no, in this the access to this kind of buildings, no, in the case that is a shopping mall, and there is no way, no, to go to another places to socialize, no. So it's something that in the case of the COVID, I think that this thing is very helpful, no. Okay, and this is the Mahanakon, that is the most iconic building, no, that is done by Renkulas. But if being here for 3 years, every Thai people that I meet has been working here. So this building is done by everybody. So it's something like a joke, no? But it's like whatever people that I meet, okay, has been working in the design of this building, no? So this is near to the center of the cities. There is a big park, okay. So they try to do this spiral idea, no, to go to the roof, no, and connect the people that is in the park, okay, like a stairway to heaven, no, okay. And this is the last icon, no, that is the icon Seiyan, and it's the one of the last icon buildings that has been recently opened, no, I mean maybe 1 year, 2 years, okay, in the close to the river, okay. So the only problem is that this building is not easy to access, no, because well, it's close to the BTS line, but from the BTS line to the building itself, you need to walk. Okay, it's a bit far, so it's not really successful. Okay, and all these high-rise buildings that we are talking. Okay, basically they have this kind of apartment that maybe Bunsana can let us know later on, but basically it's the smallest is something like 25 meters square, and basically this is a typology that is really fixed, and you can see that in most of the buildings, no, is repeating this thing. There is only just a few iconic high-rise buildings in the city, and the rest that are for the residential are repeating this kind of typology until the maximum, no, that they can, and are very, very, very small. Okay, so basically you just enter here. You have here the area for the TV and the living, no. Okay, and you have the room here with the window. Okay, and the kitchen and the toilet. Okay, and one small balcony to put the washing machine, no. If you have 2 rooms, okay, so the entrance is going to be here, okay, with the area of the kitchen for the dinner, the living room with a small balcony, and in the 2 sides we will have the bed, no. So that will be the one of the master room with the toilet, and this one will be the toilet that can be used for this room or for any guest, no. This is something that is repeating and repeating, okay. And there is another one that is this one, okay, that basically is this portion, no, with this room, and there is this living area that here they will put here a glass, no, the partition glass. So and so this will be using for the ventilation, but basically this one become a kind of fix, no, in the local people to understand that to have this kind of living areas with no lights directly or no well fully ventilated is pretty normal, no. I mean, as you know, I'm working as a teacher in one university here, and I found that many students come with units, no, that They put the living spaces, like the living room with no lights, okay, no ventilation, because they assume that this is pretty normal, no? So it's something that, I mean, need to improve, no? Okay, so what is happening, in all this kind of design is like we see many high-rises building in Bangkok, okay, but the most of the cases it's always the same building. It's only just repeating along this BTS line, okay, and we have only that few iconic building along the city, no, more few than these two, that the Mahanakon and the Icon Seyam, but the most of the building are repeating and having this kind of layout, that look like cannot be improved, This kind of layout is for the common people, Later on, there is also this high-rise building that are fully luxurious, and they have duplex and they have living houses, much more bigger, than this thing. But this one, basically, the reason that all these houses exist is because it's related also with the salary of the Thai people and the loan that they can get from the bank. Okay, so more than this thing, that is the one that is the most sale apartment, in Bangkok. It's like bigger than this is going to be just only for a few people, that they can afford this kind of apartment, But the common people is living in this kind of layout, because it's linked to the loan that they can get from the bank, to do the payment. Okay. So the things that is happening in this kind of high-rise building is like all this topic that just now I mentioned. As I mentioned, when I'm working with a student and they come with this kind of layout, it's like there is things that are fixed already. The people is used to see many of these things that we talk as a normal. So it's very difficult to break them, to make them think in another way to improve that kind of distribution, that kind of layout, So basically, this kind of design issues, okay, is there are these two ideas. That is the one that I'm going to talk. That is this functional fixedness, That is the limits, that a person. I mean, this ideas that limits a person an object only in the way that is traditionally. Basically, these two pictures, that is not in Bangkok. This is the Rockefeller Center, in New York, one of the first high-rise buildings. Okay, and this one is another high-rise building. Okay, that is in Beijing, done by the same architect that Mahanakon. And the things that this concept want to say is like if we assume that the high-rise building is this thing because it's the things that we have done for so many years, as a vertical construction, it's going to be very difficult to break that fixedness. Okay, and under a high-rise building can be also in this way, So basically, this is the things that in Bangkok market, I believe that should start to have, to try to break all this fixedness that they have just created by their own, And another one is this structural fixedness, that is the tendency to see the object as a whole and make it difficult to imagine the outcome of the product in a different way, Okay, so basically this is a sequence, of different buildings, That is the Flatiron in New York, That is vertical construction, which is repeating the same plan on the floor until the top. Okay, and how some architects start to break this kind of vertical construction, okay, to make and generating different spaces along the vertical construction. So basically, this is the concept, That is the things that people should start to break this thing, this tendency. But one of the things that is very interesting here in Bangkok, in the innovation that they are doing in the high-rise building is this condoteo. That is something very interesting because there are, as we mentioned, these these two cities, no, the one for the Thai people, the one for the foreigner people that are living in one building. Okay, so nowadays there is a tendency, no, that when you buy a condo, no, I own a condo here, so one of the first questions was like, you want for renting or you want for living, no? So it's like there is a tendency that they want to make the difference between the people that is just temporary and the people that is permanent. Okay, and at the same time, there are a kind of proposals, no, that the studios of architecture, no, in this case is On and On, no, I think Shana maybe is familiar with this. Okay, it's this kind of program that is a condotel. So one part is going to be for the people that is living in the permanent, and the other one is going to be the condotel that is these foreigners, no, that are temporary and they can rent this unit. Okay, and then they are using the facilities that are not sharing with the people that is in the permanent in the location. No? So basically, it's like they are going to have the different elevators, no? So the people is not mixed. Okay, and I saw that there are many proposals that start to be working in this direction, no? Just because the way that the people is living, no? Some people, I mean, the permanent, I mean, the difference between the permanent and the temporary, no? So generate a kind of new typology, no? Just because the function. So how to break this fixedness and now the things that this is like the second part of this webinar is the idea is like which kind of tools and techniques we can use in design, no, to break this kind of fixedness, no, that we saw. The people here, they start to build the buildings, no, the high rise, and at the end become like a machine, no? It's like we are repeating, no? They are repeating always the same typology along the BTS, and there is nothing new, no? So it's like which kind of designs, tools and techniques can be done for to improve this typology. So basically, this one is one using the user experience, no, how the people is going to live. So basically, you can get the input, no, the concept that you want to use. I mean, with the solar conditions, the wind. So basically, you can use your topic of interest here, okay, to develop. Okay, and then you start to analyze, no, the different users that you are thinking to be living there, no. So you are, in this case, I mean, it's just the kids, no, the working class, the elderly people. So all these three people, these three users are going to need different spaces, okay, to develop the activities that they do every day, no. So basically, once that you have this decomposition, this breakdown done, then you can start to make relations, no, between these places, okay, which one are the connection, and then maybe you can generate a new space or a more unique space, no, according to the connections, no, that is giving you, no, the relation that can give you this kind of activities, no, with the different users, no. So then you are going to generate a specific program for that high-rise building, no, to have, I mean, that is going to have the people that is interacting with this program, no, okay, and then later you will start to place, no, in this vertical construction, that is the one that we are talking, where is going to be the location, no. So then it's going to give you a kind of, it's going to helping you to break this kind of fixedness, no, that we are seeing here in Bangkok, that is always the same floor story from the bottom till the top, basically just only the portion of the podium that they put the gym and the swimming pool, no? But further than that, it's very difficult to see something outside of that box, no? Okay, so basically this is the question is how the design thinking process can be applied in this kind of high-rise building, no? That is with the sample, no, as I saw you before, no, with these diagrams. Okay, the thing is, if we try to make this thing as a tool, no, for the design, it's going to be step number one, that we are going to have this topic of interest, that is going to be this vertical construction, this high rise. Okay, we are going to have here the different problems, no, that we need to solve, no, in this high rise building. Okay, and then these problems, we can find different solutions, no. Okay, we are doing our research, no? So we try to represent all this data, no? And we are going to have different solutions, no? And maybe our solution, no, when we are looking for this concept solution, is going to make a combination, no? Okay, so maybe we have here, now we put a sample to visualize this thing, no? But basically, the solution for our problem is going to be this combination, no? So finally, we can have different solutions here, no? But the combination is going to give us a different identity. That is in the case that the combination is this one, no? Okay, so then this is the Mahanakon, so the design concept, no? There is a park here, so basically, the connection of that part is to make this extension, no, to be part of this park that is nearby, and at the same time, like the ideal is this thing, no, that it's like the people can go like a spiral staircase to go to the top, no. This is in reality, this is not true, no. I mean, you cannot jump all this roof, no, to go to the top, no. The things that they try to do is the park is here, and the people can get the floor and go to the rooftop, no? But all this thing at least is breaking, no? This kind of fixedness that the most of the high-rise building in Bangkok have, no? Or I found that they have this lack. So the technique and tool that basically is with this theory is like, if we put this topic of interest, this high-rise building, okay, we can let me see, because it looks like receiving some, sorry, yeah, like someone is asking for the, sorry. Okay, basically, if we want to apply this thing, it's like we are going to have these high-rise buildings, and we are going to see which one are the problems that we need to solve in these high-rise buildings. So one is this verticality, and another problem that we need to solve is going to be the plan layout, the building core, okay, the structure, the facade, no, and we should have here different solutions, no, that can be, this problem can be solved, no? This one, for example, is one of the, is one work that I have done with my students, no, that we are doing this high-rise building, and we try to improve and break all this fixedness that has the market in Bangkok. So basically, when I work with my student, they come up with this thing, no? I mean, we were talking about this high-rise building, so I asked them to break down all the different components, no, that can be designed in the high-rise building, and they come here with 15, okay? At least they try to put a boundary, no? If you go to more details, you can get 20, 50, whatever, no? Okay, and they try to get with the different case studies of the city of Bangkok, no, and also another buildings, another high-rise building from other part of the world. They try to categorize how is the different solutions, no, that can find, no. So they create a kind of book, okay, that has a lot of case study, no. And they have the introduction of that one is going to be this first slide. So whatever want to see the core of the building, no, the area of the elevator, no, to see double, to see a single core or double core, they will go directly to the case study, no. So there are 30 students, so each student has a case study, and they compile all this information here. So at the end, the things that they are going to have is a mapping, no? That later on they just start to make combinations, no? With the things that they really like to explore, that they see some potential there, and then they start to grab different combinations, and they will start to visualize how it's going to be that concept, no, that design concept to break this fixedness, no, in this high-rise building. Okay, so all the different combinations that we can come here, no, with this mapping, okay, is going to give multiple solutions, no, to the same problem, no, but every solution is fully different, no? Okay. So basically, this is the things that I just want to share. Okay. So some books that I'm using here in this reference is this one that is out of the box. No, it's a book that is talking about the innovation. Okay. Inside to break all this fixedness, no? So it's designing innovation. This one I need to rectify. This is The Art of Innovation, also by Tom Kelly, okay, the owner of IDEO. Okay, and some project management tools, no, that is in this book. Okay, I used photos from the website. Okay, and the drawings are the one done by my students, no, in Asunción University, no, like Bunchana, no? Okay, so that is all. Okay, so thank you. So I just want to show you a practical sample, okay, for the one that has time. But before, if any question or answer or some feedback, you can let me know. I mean, we can talk now, and maybe, I mean, the one that are interested, I can show you this sample, no, that how one student break all this fixedness that happened in Bangkok and come up with a proposal of a building fully different. Okay. So that's all. Thank you for attending. Okay, and I hope that you enjoy this presentation.
Thanks, Miguel. Thanks.
Anything or?
Thanks, Miguel. I will have a question, if possible.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I find quite interesting all the things you were saying. I have to agree on all the condos to have the same kind of look. That these two units, one unit. Even I find that on the last 10 years, everything even compressed a bit. 10 years ago, the minimum unit was 35 square meters. 7 years ago, it was 30. 5 years ago was 25. And I was talking to a lot of these big companies like Sun City and IDEO and whatever, and they all told me the same. It's much more profitable. It's much more profitable to do smaller rooms than to do big rooms. If you check the condos 20 or 30 years ago, they are quite nice in space. Not anymore. In part because most of these condos are for common people to live, but most of them for investment of Chinese people and whatever. My question is related to the ventilation. You were talking before about this kind of space that you open the door in 20 or 25 square meters, and you have a living room with no natural light and with no ventilation. That is quite common. It's quite common in here, and even I saw this model becoming even in 50 square meters. That I was like quite surprised. My point is like, what kind of regulation is in here for ventilation? Because as you know, in Europe, for instance, now they are very focused on the nearly zero emission buildings and these new ventilations that extract the air and put the air renovated. But in here, I think that there is a big problem on ventilation and depending on air conditionings. So my question is like, is there any regulation for ventilation, or is something that people don't care in here?
No, basically, I mean, I didn't find anything in the regulation saying that, for example, in Europe, okay, when we have these toilets, okay, you need the opening. No? I mean, it can be the artificial, okay, with the extraction, or can be the natural. No, but in the most of the cases, when you design this thing, at least in Spain, I mean, they ask you to put at least an internal patio, no, to have this. But here, I mean, it's not required. They don't require you. That's why you saw that the most of the toilets, okay, are in the interior with no internal courtyard for the natural ventilation or anything. So at least it's only just the mechanical. No? I don't know if, but so far, I mean, I didn't see anything there. Okay, so that why is the unit is very small, and all the layout is as per the things that we saw in the slides.
I can add on to the ventilation part if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Right. Guys, okay, let me introduce myself again for people who come afterwards. So I'm a Thai architect who graduated from ABAC School of Architecture and Design that Miguel is teaching. And I've worked with Ong and Ong, which is a company based in Singapore for 1.5 years in high-rise hotels and condominium. And then I've moved on to Somdun Architect for 3 years now. One of the projects that maybe you guys can search for is Park Origin Payathai, which is one of the projects I've been working on that kind of like has many points that Miguel has raised just now, and it would be a good example if you guys see the shape of the building. Basically, for ventilation part first, okay. The project that I've worked on, which is the condominium, the developer doesn't care about ventilation that much, but based on regulation, Thai regulation, we need an opening for the room, which is about, you need at least 1.2 square meter of opening for the natural ventilation in the living room areas. For bathroom, they try to get the bathroom to be as close to the facade or next to or at the facade for the natural ventilation. But if it's not possible, then they'll use mechanical ventilation, because designing condominium in Bangkok, we try to maximize facade area for daylight and for views towards the city. So these views and these areas usually goes towards living room or bedroom. So bathroom is like the third priority. So if you can, then it would be nice. But if it cannot, then you use other ways to do it. Yeah, that's the point on ventilation. So basically, projects that have been built, and we as a team in the office have gone to see, is quite hot inside. Without air conditioning system, you basically cannot live in there during the afternoon. And this is something I'm an advocate for, because we want to design a building that is comfortable to live in without air condition. But it's hard to put this point in when the developer always want to maximize their profit, right? And like you said, why is the area okay? Why is the area is small? Because it's based on land price. Land that is close to the public transport are always more expensive than land that is further away from this ETS line, right? So basically, if you have the same 25 square meter room, let's say in Thong Lo versus somewhere in Bang Na, right? You have a more expensive room closer in the city. So in a middle income people who live in an office, who work in an office from 8 to 9 or 8 to 6, they can only afford to loan from the bank at a fixed amount. So if you get the room smaller, the price of the room is cheaper, so people can buy it easier than a bigger room. Yeah, and that's the way it is. Yeah. Okay. So that's about the price. But let me talk about the point that Miguel raised, that all the point. So maybe I can share with you guys, and then you can have your feedback. The first point you talked about was 1 to 2 height setback, right? That is the slope of the setback. Basically, from what
yes.
okay, that point I believe is based on urban regulation, where you don't want a high-rise building or a building very tall near the road that is small. So the how tall your building gets is how wide the road is. So the wider the road, the taller the building you can build. So because in Thailand people people who want to build the building, whether developer or private sectors, they want to maximize their building area. So they would doesn't care about livability or the community neighborhood, how it looks, very nice, like internationally. Doesn't care. They only care about their building. So they will build as tall and as big as they want in a small road, if that is allowed. So there is this regulation that would kind of help people around that, to not to be claustrophobic in a small area. It's a small road, something like that. So that's why there is this setback. And concerning the islands, right? The islands, why there are 6-meter setback, basically is due to fire safety. So they want fire truck to be able to drive around the building in case of fire. So that's why
yeah.
yeah. So that's why there is this setback. And yeah, so that's 2 points. For me, when I work in Somdun Architect and we got a job, doing high-rise condominium, the first thing the developer always asks for is the feasibility number. They want to know how many % is the net area for sellable area compared to the whole GFA. So in each land that they will give you, there is a maximum floor area that you can build. Right, and based on that floor area, how much area is sellable? And most of the time, we don't even talk about concept or all this thing or how the building look. They just want to talk about numbers. If you can get above 55% sellable area, then they'll say, okay, maybe we can try and do this building. But if you cannot get above 55, then they won't even consider it or something like that. Yeah, so at the end of the day, everything you try to design is all to get the maximum room, maximum sellable area, the least amount of core area or wasted area, let's say, and you always push the building towards the maximal setback area. So you left very little space to design facade. Yeah, and so if you see buildings such as Ideal Mobi, you can see it's quite ugly, in my opinion. Yeah, or maybe another one is Ideal Mobi East Point, which is a bit alien, but it's maximized you can see the slope, right? So yeah, that's the realistic of things. So, but as architect, we always try to push for concept afterwards when they are happy with a certain amount of rooms and sellable area, and then we can try to introduce concept of facade design in a way that helps to make a building look nicer and make the user experience nice, like the Park Origin Payathai, because we have the building, we have the road on 2 sides, so we have a setback from the back. We convert that into an opportunity to design a vertical park. So we it's the first building that you can do a outdoor marathon from the base of the building all the way to the top. And that was a very interesting idea that we kind of see this opportunity and input in there. So it's something like a gimmick or something like this that we can put inside. Otherwise, always maximize room area. Yeah, that's the gist of it. Yeah.
But Thank you so much, Bunsana. So basically, you are saying that there is no way to improve here because everything is in the hands of the developer, no?
Capitalism.
So it's
yes.
they go to
Yes,
they go to the
capitalism for sure.
smaller unit, no? Because it's the one that they can.
But
they can
I would
solve.
say that this is not only Bangkok.
Yeah, this is common. It happened in Spain before the bubble too.
And even after, this is the problem.
The main concern here in Bangkok is like the regulation is going to be smaller the house. And in Spain, when happened this thing, they put the regulation, it was a minimum, no? This was the 30 square meter, no? Because I mean, below that one, I mean, it's not a condition for living, no? But the things here is like I can see that there are this constraint that is getting smaller and smaller, and the people is buying, no? This kind of unit, no? So it's difficult. I know that it's really difficult to have the chance to improve this thing, no? But it's like someone from the top should start to put an order here, no? Because it's not happen that all these buildings are growing up like mushroom, and the condition is like you are living like ants, no? Yeah, Carles, you want to say something? You were saying something?
No, I was meaning that this concept of the developer trying to maximize the project is everywhere. But basically now I think that what we are focusing, and I think that all the architects are focusing, is like we think that we have reached the point that where sustainability is not just a marketing point of view, but we can start demonstrating that doing sustainable buildings and more healthy buildings, it can also be attractive for developers. Unfortunately, we need to demonstrate with numbers, with how many people is not getting sick because of the proper design, and then it means that they have more savings in terms of days off. But at least doing this demonstration of how healthy and sustainable buildings can be more productive and more efficient for the clients, it will be a way at least to demonstrate that doing a good design, it should work.
Absolutely.
That sounds, yeah, very, very challenging, no? Carles, can you do
that? I tried yesterday and I failed. And he asked me to repeat again for one day. So I need to repeat and do a new concept today. But we are trying. It's like at some point we try. Okay, we are working on the well concept and all these things. I think that it's coming. Countries like Australia, I think the elder you are there now. So Australia is, you can see there's a lot of buildings already with the well certification, that it's changing the concept, that it may be a little bit more expensive on day one, but in future, that it means like much more benefits for the people living there, the people using it, and even the people renting it. So we need to try to convince our clients. It will be tough, but I think we will reach to do so.
I think it could be an improvement of the quality of life. It's like if you go into a Marriott hotel here in Bangkok, the energy efficiency is wonderful. It's like you don't need air conditioning, and you have light and everything. The thing is like the condominium developers, as you all guys said, they focus more on how much money they can make. But sustainability is a very beautiful thing for the end user, because it's not only comfort, it's not only health, is that you're gonna pay less in energy consumption for all the time you stay there.
Yeah.
Totally agree. It's like I think that this is the way we can convince them, because it's what you say. Imagine in a hotel where people, it's always with a aircon, working all day. It's like if you can get it like not working, how much savings is for the hotel operator?
That's why the hotel do it. I can tell you that.
On the back of all of this, the density, the increase in density in different capital cities around the world drives developers and even the city itself to continuously squeeze on the spot. the plot size and the room sizes and so on. Now, a few years ago, I got involved in a project with an architect who's based in Shanghai. If you guys get an opportunity to have a look at reset.build, reset.build, it's a data standard and tools for healthy and sustainable built environments. So it's effectively trying to understand the health, air quality within a space in densely constructed buildings. Like the gentleman who spoke before, the room sizes consistently over a decade have reduced by 40% in size. And we have now effectively taken for granted a light switch which will switch on and extract a fan is sufficient ventilation for a toilet, and which is unhealthy really. But then that's what has been dictated to. However, in areas where there is still a bit of land available, the building code can still be pushed and be implemented. Doesn't mean that the air quality which is outside is any good just because you create natural light and ventilation to a building, because your environment also generates a certain level of pollution, where your internal spaces, other than what you bring in, also is compromised. Just have a look at this. This is just an interesting ongoing research program. If any one of you want to just sign in and become part of it, feel free to add to it. It's something we started a few years ago because we found that in Shanghai, a lot of people were getting sick for no reason, and it is all about air pollution and health within the space, not only outside. So it's something interesting to share with you. And thank you, Miguel, for sharing your thoughts and knowledge on, and also all the other gentlemen who've been part of this. It's I've been to Bangkok a few times, not necessarily as an architect, but one as a student trying to understand the density and the growth potential of the country and the city. And now, as teachers, we analyze it for various other issues and discourse that we build in architecture.
Okay, thank you, Simon.
Can I put a comment too?
Yeah. Yes, Elder. Yeah, Elder.
I think probably even following Bongshana's comments, and the comment about Australia. Yes, there's a lot of being done here too, but I think sometimes we need to be careful about the social context where these projects happen and the kind of cities and the development of the cities where they are sit on. And there's quite a lot of contrast in terms of actual even the social access to the square meter that we have depending on which economy of the world you are in. And it's funny that using this topic about the house are getting smaller. Is this a good living conditions? Are these layouts and solutions being well done? Or is this driven by developer? Of course not. This is driven by profit. But it's funny that if you start backing out, you end up grabbing everything. The developer wants to have a good brochure and a good solution to sell well. We also end up here with a bit of a challenge for us designers, how we make something desirable for a market that is actually evolving really rapidly. Because sometimes we forgot that. Like I'm very interested to know more about, Miguel, the mapping you've done with your students, because you kind of break down all this process onto these different projects. But there's a lot of rationality between these different things that we need to be sometimes careful. Because when we are on these massive projects, that's how we make them happen, is by splitting all these things in small parts. But then the end result is never really a good one. It is a good one when you look at a distance because the images are sexy. But again, you go to the small apartments and you don't have natural light or ventilation on your living space. And where are we failing here? Because this is not old stuff. It's just a challenge we're dealing with ourselves and the projects we are engaged with. So sorry to unpack a lot of stuff, but it is a lot of stuff to discuss because a lot of these things kind of relate to each other. And I apologize because I really don't know as much of Bangkok that I probably wanted to, because I understand a lot of this kind of dynamic of foreign, the local, where they live. I actually got a lot of questions as you putting your presentation. I'm just making them down here, but I think there are quite a lot of them for someone from outside, because I believe the challenges are different. Like in Australia, this kind of division of the foreigner and the local in the cityscape, are these all housing? Because you go to that concept of vision of city where it's more kind of a business district that makes this skyline, which is more business driven, not housing driven. The housing goes to the periphery. But in this case, is it a completely different way of new cities are being built? So this is all housing in the center, or is a really diverse mix of business and housing in the same kind of programs component? Because a lot of the Western cities that we take reference to, the cities that we see tend to be business districts mostly. So I might stop here. It's quite a lot of stuff.
All right.
Anyone want to take the lead, please?
Yeah. Manzana, you want to add?
Yes. I think this will not be the case if we I mean this the today topic is we are trying to break this fixedness, right? Which is I believe is very, we are all trying to do here in Thailand, and rest assured, we in our company we are trying to do this as well. But first and foremost, we need to try to at least get a job, right? Which is which is to get the to be able to do that building in the first place. So, and not only does we need to be able to make it profit for them, but in another way, they also want to try to reduce their budget, right? They don't have so much budget for facade design. They don't have budget to do so much. So, but we try as best as we can to always think of solution in a way that would not increase the cost of construction, but and as well as be able to try to push this sustainable living and having the end user to be able to live in a nice way. But at the end of the day, once a building like a typology like condominium, once you sell the building, it's gone. It's not their problem anymore. So they don't really care afterwards whether the people living in there are live doesn't pay so much electrical bills or whatever. They just want to get it out. And so they at the end they will try to make the building look nice, and it is in a very prime area, and that's the two main point. So after listening to the presentation today, yeah, of course, we will have to do more or explore in more in other ways in how we can create a nice building. But yes, currently is this the situation is like this. Yeah.
Yeah, but I just want to add because it's not just talking about the aesthetic. Okay, I'm talking to break this thing in terms of the function, in terms of the program and the activities that the users can do there. No? So in the moment that you can start to prove that the life conditions are improving just because the function, the spaces that the building is providing, okay, then there is one story, that you can investigate with your developer. No, if you talk with the developer just only for the aesthetic, the function of the facade or the beauty of the building, is going to be very difficult to sell some ideas to the developer, no, because that one they see as a extra cost, no, something additional, no. You talk that you can provide with through the function, no, that you can get some profit, no, with that facilities, no, that improvement in the facilities of the condo. Maybe there is a line that can be explored, no. That is it's not only just aesthetic. Okay.
Yes,
Elder,
yes.
you want to say anything else? Yeah.
Yeah. The actual investments, I understand that thing about the developer kind of at the end doesn't pass it on that all that responsibility. And it's interesting that it's true. I agree with you. But if I looked as me in the shoes of an investor, I'll end up with the bill. The city has to manage what grows and the grid that actually feeds these buildings. And I wonder how much cost is involved in that. I know that the square meters is getting very high. That's why also maybe these apartments are going to be smaller. But the cost of providing water, electricity, technology are getting higher too. So these kind of rights are passed on to the investor that then owns the property, and to the city that actually manages for things to actually continue to work in place. And at the end of this, developer is gone. And it's funny how this dynamic. I know about a few projects here where I live in Australia where we are aware that there's quite a lot of negotiation between even the city authorities and the developers, because sometimes the developer wants to go, let's say, to 50 stories, imagine, just hypothetically. But the regulation says that it's 15 or 20. And then that's where the negotiation also starts. It's a bit of a trade-off. Okay, I create a better public space on the ground so you can give me more stories on top. I wonder if a solution like the one that you presented, Miguel, Omar, and the result of that spiral garden relates to that kind of negotiation between the local authorities. They're saying, okay, we bring this garden up, but you will allow us to keep going up a bit more, like to get more floor area, and we change a bit how we interact with the city. We deal with the ground space in a different way, give more public access. I wonder if this dynamic also happens in Bangkok. I'm very interested to know a bit more about this. People from Bangkok can clarify that to me, because this is interesting, how this kind of drive the developers kind of way of deciding what better aesthetic they want to do for their buildings, how high they want to go, the impact of the cities in relation to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, at the end that building, and I think with this we will finish now. At the end that building of the Mahanakon has so many things added because they sell this thing like a symbol, no, for the city, no. It's a tourist reference, so they have more freedom, I mean, to add things, but even like that, it's quite fixed. No? I mean, they are not doing something really extraordinary, no. But you can see when you see the skyline that is one of the buildings that has a stronger design concept, more architecture, no, that doesn't have all this functionality, no, that we are talking now. So, well, anything else? I mean, because basically, I mean, I mentioned that it's going to be 1 hour, which is already 1 hour, so I don't want to steal more time from you guys. But if any one of you want to add anything else, if not,
just last one to answer Mr. Heldler just now, talking about whether we can negotiate with the local authority on to do something like increase the building height and so on. Sadly, no. But I don't think you can do it openly, or you can negotiate it like that. Yeah. So because otherwise, developer with more money, they'll just throw money in it and just build whatever they want. So, and this is not the way. This cannot. It's not an option currently in Bangkok. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not very.
Yeah. Of course, if I think if we can negotiate and produce a better city, then, and if the authority would consider this, would be nice. But everyone is will have to read the regulation, and if it say like that, you have to build it like that. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, it's just the point. Okay, but thank you for everybody to attend and participate. At least I hope that this was useful, or at least to have a general idea of what is the situation in Bangkok. Okay, so I really appreciate this time with all of you, because in any moment of my life I meet with every one of you. So yeah, it was a pleasure to meet you all here. Okay. Okay, so that's all.
Thank you.
Okay, so keep in touch. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, all right.
Thank you.
I catch you later. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ana Karen. Thank you, Flor, Luciana,
Thank you.
Luis, Rai. Okay, later I will grab this thing and edit it and maybe upload in YouTube or something like that. I will let you know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.